Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of story time. So I'm going to be telling you how I was almost dying and I didn't even know it, right? I was still going about my day, doing my thing, and I didn't even know that there was something very wrong with me. So let's get right into these videos. I realized that anytime I was on my period, right, I would bleed a lot. I was losing a lot of blood on my monthly cycle. So anytime I was on my periods were very heavy. And this started from when I had my second child. I had my two kids via C-sections, right? And so I noticed that immediately my period came back after my second C-section. They were just very heavy. And I don't know, for some reason, I didn't think too much about it. And around for the first 2-3 days, they were very heavy. And then in the third, fourth day, they became normal and all that. But then I noticed that after a while, they got longer. So instead of having my period before childbirth used to be about 4 days max, but immediately after my second C-section, they would last for 5-6 days. Even on the seventh day, there will still be a little bit of spotting. But the mistake I made, which I realize now, is the fact that I didn't really seek medical attention for that, and I shouldn't have done that. So I kept on going through the same cycle every month. I would have the heavy bleedings. This was 2023, the heavy bleeding, but I was still able to function during that period. I would still go to work, I would still do my normal daily activities. So the fact that I was active and I could perform what I had to do, I didn't really think too much about it, right? And please, if you're having those symptoms, I beg you, in the name of God, do not ignore those symptoms. Do not ignore those symptoms. They are really serious and life-threatening. And so fast forward to 2024, when I came to Canada and registered, and I got my health card in 2023. So I'm like, since healthcare is typically free in Canada, let me just go to the doctor and run some tests and just do a general checkup. And if you're a woman and you're in your 30s and your 40s, please make this an annual thing. Make sure you have your annual checkup every single year. It can save you a lot of trouble in the long run. So I did my annual checkup in 2024, and it turns out that I am anemic. Now the numbers were low. I can't remember, but I think it was 90, which is quite low. And the doctor recommended that I take iron pills, basically. So I was given prescription for iron pills, right? And I think he told me to come back for another test, but simply because I could still function and do my daily tasks, I didn't really take it serious. So I got the pills, but I wasn't consistent with taking it, right? And that was another mistake that I made. You see how I'm saying please in this video? Just please take your pills. They would save you a lot of trouble. Don't be like me. So I didn't take my pills. I took them, but I didn't take them consistently. And I didn't go back for the next checkup. I was like, I feel good, there's nothing wrong with me. And no, I feel good. I can still do my daily tasks, go to work, come back. Why would I need to go back for a checkup, right? So I didn't go back for a checkup in the whole of 2023. Now, fast forward to 2024, it got worse, right? I was still having the heavy periods and all that. But I noticed that during my periods, my monthly cycle, I would be down with cold. And I just attributed so I noticed that during my monthly period, I always had a cold. I would be sneezing, my throat would be funny, I would have to take, my throat would feel funny, and I would just be feverish. And I just thought, oh, it's Canada, it's cold, it's probably just the weather acting up and all that. So after 1 or 2 days of feeling feverish, I will be fine again. But this particular month, and I did that from January to about July. Now, when it was I did that from January to about July, August. Now by September, those colds got worse. By September, by September of 2024, I just woke up one morning and my voice was gone. I was feeling feverish. I was having a headache. And again, I just said, oh, this is cold. But My husband pushed me that day to just go do a test and see if there's anything else wrong apart from it being just the regular common cold, because normally I would just take Tylenol or Advil and for 1 or 2 days and I'll be fine. So that day I went into a walk-in, so September 2024, I went into a walk-in clinic, actually in my neighborhood, and I told my neighborhood and told the doctor I had a cold. I didn't even know that anemia was that bad at the time, so I just told the doctor that I had a cold, and I just told the doctor that I had a cold, and the doctor said I should do. Oh, and asked me when was the last time I did test and general checkup. Now, the last time I did it was January of 2023. I hadn't done it for 2024. So he recommended that we do that, and he gave me my recommended that we do that, and I went to the lab. So he recommended that we do that, and I went to the lab same day. It was a Saturday, so I'm like, oh. I went to the lab. He had given me some medications and all that, so I just went home and thought nothing about it. So I went to the lab on Saturday and I just went back home and really thought nothing about it, because I think lab results will come back in like days. I think the lab results were due to come back in 5 days. So I was like, okay, we'll just wait 2 days for the lab results to come back and we'll see, what we go from there. And to my surprise, I went home and I slept that night. And then I woke up to, I think, pee at 2 a.m. and I just checked my phone randomly and I saw like missed calls from a random number. I didn't call the number back because I'm like, who's calling me at 2 a.m.? So I just went back to sleep. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning, I saw a voice message from my doctor telling me to call him back as soon as possible. It's an emergency, you need to call me back as soon as possible and all that. So I was a bit scared, but I'm like, how is it an emergency if I'm in home? And I'm not an emergency if I'm at home. I feel fine and all that. So I went to church. So at 2 o'clock I called the doctor back, and the doctor was basically screaming, not screaming, but it sounded very concerned. He told me that I needed to get to the emergency room as soon as possible, that my iron levels were below normal. I think at the time it was about 68 or 69, a very dangerous low number. And he told me to go into the emergency room immediately. So I did just that. I packed my bags and we went to the emergency room. After waiting for a couple of hours, I had to get iron transmission that same night. That was how serious it was. And so I just God for saving my life, basically, because if I hadn't seen that doctor or done that test, I would probably have taking anemia very serious. So if you don't know, anemia is very serious. It can cause a lot of heart diseases. It can cause a heart attack. Very serious. Make sure you take your iron pills. And I've had to get infusions as well, iron infusions. So now I have to take I take tablets like times a day still, and I still have to go for follow-up checks, but it's getting better. The numbers are slowly rising. It takes a while for them to go back to their normal levels, but they're slowly rising. And it's just my let's call it testimony, right? So if you have any symptoms or you're feeling that something is not right, there's something is probably not right, and you should go to the doctor, get checked up. Don't be like me and don't wait till you have to go to the emergency room, okay? I will see you in my next video. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like with your friends that also make sure you like. If you have any friends that are anemic, make sure you share this video with them and tell them to take it very seriously. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. It's 2026 and someone still thinks that the only way to make money it's 2026 and someone still thinks that it's 2026, and I can't believe there are people who still think that the only way to make money it's 2026 and I can't believe that people who still believe that the only career that actually makes you money in Canada or US or even in the diaspora is nursing. Let me plug you into three let me plug you into 3 high-paying, high-demand careers that you can do in. Let me plug you into 3 high-paying, high-demand careers that you can do right now this year and start making cool cash. The first one is project management. Guys, don't sleep on project management. With project management, all you need to do to break into that field is get your PMP or your CAPM, and you can start making as much as 70 to 100, and you can start making as much as 80k to 100k even as an entry-level project manager or project coordinator. You don't need to learn how to code, you don't need to learn any serious tech skills. You just need to be someone that is organized and can keep projects on track. That is basically all you do as a project manager. The second one is business analyst. Now for this one, all you need to do is get your the second one is business analyst. Now, what business analyst? The second one is business analyst. The second one is so. The second one is business. Number 2, business analysis. So what these guys basically do is sit between tech and. So what these guys and what you basically do in this kind of position is sit between the business and the users. So what you basically do in this position is to sit between business and tech. You're like the middleman between the tech and the users at the end of the day. And for you to get into this role and for you to get a position in this position and for you to get a role as a business analyst, you need to have the basic, and for you to get a role as a business analyst, you need to have your IIBA certification. You can start from there and then grow and develop from there. You don't need to spend 4 years in school. You don't need to rack up a load of student debt. All you need to do is get that one certification, and then you can start working as a business analyst, and then you can start working as a business analyst, and you can earn as much as 80 to 100 or even 120k as a business analyst. Now the third one is cyber security. Now you don't need to hack, you just need to protect people and systems. What you need for this is to get your basic CompTIA Plus. I promise you guys, it is not hard. And then there are so many ways to get these certifications, and I'll put them in my bio. And there's so many ways to get these certifications, and I'll put them in the caption below. You can go to Coursera. Google also has some very good courses that you can learn these skills, and Google also has some very good courses that teach you these skills. So make sure to check the caption for how you can acquire these skills, and make sure to follow me for more if you are looking to grow your career and make 2026 the year that you finally break through. You know your problem. You are waiting to see the entire picture before you take one step. You are waiting to see the final. You know your problem. You are waiting to see the entire. You know your problem. You know what your problem is? You are waiting to see the entire picture before you move. You are waiting to see the final output before you take that one step. And let me tell you something. If you continue to wait and hold on and postpone and keep, you know your problem. You are waiting to see. And let me tell you something. If you continue to wait and hold on and postpone and procrastinate, 2026 will probably end up looking the same way 2025 did. I'm not here to burst your bubble. I'm not here to burst your bubble. I'm not here to give bad vibes, but it's just the plain truth. If you keep procrastinating and waiting for the perfect time, oh, there's no perfect time, oh, I'm waiting for the. You know your problem. You're waiting to see the end before you start moving. You're waiting to the. You know your problem. You're waiting to see. You know your problem. You are waiting to see the end before you start moving. You want to see the final product. You want to see the end goal. You want to see the whole picture before you take one step. And the truth is, if you continue to act that way, if you continue to wait and postpone and procrastinate, 2026 will probably end up looking the same way 2025, 2024, or even 2023 looked. So if you want to make the change, better start making it now. Nobody's coming to save you. I just let me tell you my own. Ire o.